do you have to pet?
Okay, here's like my channel, so where would I look at this?
Well, it's not actually. Oh, okay. Now we're live.
Alright.
Should pop in at some point. Sure.
I just don't know where it's gonna pop.
Just refresh your channel a little bit. It's probably gonna be. Please do not actually physically watch the stream while we're doing this. I'll
I don't know how to refresh it.
Oh wait, that's right. I don't know how you could even access pop-up chat on your iPad without me emailing you a link. So it's gonna be. Well, what episode of PugCast are we on?
This is 21.
PugCast 21. Norman goes to
Actually, if I go to videos,
Guantanamo Bay.
If I go to videos, it shows up there. Norman, you are headed for the collar.
Alright, I just came up with a banger title for this. Do you want to hear it? PugCast 21. Norman goes to Guantanamo Bay.
Alright, I got it.
Yeah, just mute the audio.
Come on. Alright, how do I mute the audio?
Just the buttons on the side. Just make it quiet.
Norman, come on.
Do you know how to use an iPad? This is all kinds of confusing.
Are these volume?
Yeah, those are volume.
It's muted. Okay. See, I don't do audio or video or anything, so. Alright, I'm kind of cut out of the video.
Oh, let me adjust that, because I can adjust it from here, because like,
Alright.
Did the pugs move? There we go.
Hey, Calvin, I may need your assistance here.
Never. I abstain.
Gotcha. Come here.
Wow.
Come on.
Did you just ambush interview Norman?
I ambushed him, yes.
Was that a gotcha report? Wow, the lighting.
Now, let's try to be civil.
I mean, the thing is, right?
He's had a collarless day all day.
Why is he hissing?
He's not hissing.
He just was hissing.
He's like, I don't know what he's doing. See, now look at how docile he is. Now he wants to sit.
Norman goes to Alcatraz and starts a prison riot.
Are we? So we're live, right?
Yeah, we are. We've been live for a while.
Yeah, well, that was a mistake, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, I'm not. Okay,
Yeah,
which one of you can you not hear well? Is it me that you can't hear well? Because that's because my mic is like 3 feet away from my face.
Yeah, this is our makeshift studio. So.
Yeah, man, when you use a room that's not the garage, you realize just how integral the garage was to the success of the stream.
You could move your mic.
Yeah, I'll move my mic in a sec.
I have mine. Is mine okay? Oh, there's humming in the background.
21 live. Norman, stop licking my hand while I'm typing. What are you, small? Norman goes to Guantanamo Bay.
Yeah, well.
I love that so much.
Normie, come on, buddy. Norman has had a collarless day all day. Now when the camera's on, he's got to go crazy.
Yeah, he's like
He's like a celebrity.
Miley Cyrus. Yeah.
He's Miley Cyrus.
Norman isn't like Miley Cyrus. He is Miley Cyrus.
Normie,
Straight up fact.
Come on, buddy.
The audio is about to get really terrible because I'm going to be moving all this stuff around, so just bear with me here.
Yeah.
Did you like that noise? Yes.
You need to get up and move it? Okay.
Yeah, it's on the carpet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully this is better and not at all just weird. Okay, that's on the verge of tipping, so.
Yeah,
Oh boy.
Just put it down like mine is. It'll be more stable.
The audio's in my shoulder right now.
Yeah.
In my pec. My only pet.
You don't have to. Yeah. So you don't have to hold your laptop. It's not going anywhere.
Ugh.
Just lower the height and it'll be okay.
You can't talk about height around Norman. He gets upset.
Tap the speaker. Yeah. I don't know if that's doing anything or not.
Why is this not loose? Good grief.
Yeah. I'm not sure which way they're supposed to turn.
It's left, but they're being very disobedient.
There we go.
Yeah.
Norman, what are you doing?
There we are. This sounds awful,
Alright,
probably.
watch this. I'll get him up there.
How are you gonna get him up here? Are you saying you're gonna bribe him? Don't you think that's unethical?
There he is. Over here. Right there they sit.
Okay, fun thing, Dad.
Look at him.
This
Look,
isn't
he
tightening.
knows what I'm up to.
This thing only loosens. This doesn't tighten.
Oh, that's interesting.
Oh wait, maybe that's.
There you go.
No, that's not how I do it either.
You gotta behave. You gonna be a good boy.
I'm just gonna accept that as long as.
They're gonna be like Norman Bates and live up to the name.
Jeez, this is the worst. Why? Why is life like this? There we go.
Yeah,
Hopefully this will be better.
I think it'll work.
I don't know.
Anyway, because we don't have. Basically, we've got the garage full of stuff packing.
Yeah, because we're going to.
Yeah, we're probably a third of the way packed, for Florida, even though we're only moving in January.
Wow, we really jumped the gun on that.
What?
Packing already.
Yeah, well, you can't wait till the last minute.
We could.
Most of it's my office, actually. But yeah. All right, now I got to figure out which way this is.
Okay, people say it's still buzzing.
Okay. Let's see here. Hey Norman, you're not getting a treat a second here.
Okay. Here's the thing. Now looking at the chat, they said, "Oh, your mic sounded better when it was over there. It's Dad who's distant." And you know why? That's a directional mic, because you're off to the side of it now.
I think they're the same.
No. Well, they're both directional.
All right. How's that?
Because of the way that it's designed, is what I realize now. It's like you ever had a shotgun mic? It's kind of like that. It's kind of like that same principle. You ever used a shotgun mic?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that. Also, thank goodness they can't see this mess of cords down here. They might just unsubscribe. Oh my gosh, I hate how hard this is to
All right,
set
so
up.
Calvin's moving his mic again. Again, this is all an experiment because we don't have our space anymore.
Yeah, we got rid of the pool table.
All right,
AKA
Calvin's
our table.
Calvin's audio is fine. That's the most recent thing.
All right,
My audio is still low.
So I'm gonna move your mic to where the other. Wait, let me actually just check if there's a physical dial.
All right, hum is gone. Buzzing just stopped.
Hug.
All right, hey buddy. Hey buddy, come here. And I have pity on you. Is mine on or off here? Maybe that's.
The mic's just been off this whole time.
I don't know.
Let me check.
Mom and
No,
I
it's on.
Mom and I just used them for the podcast, so we didn't touch them. They should be on.
We just used it for a podcast?
Mom and I. Mom was on my podcast.
That's bizarre.
Here, just put it there.
I gotta do this thing now.
Oh, we're good when we get treats. We're so well behaved and well mannered. Well behaved.
I'm gonna sabotage your whole plan.
It looks like E.T.
I think you've made that comment probably every day of your life.
It looks like E.T. E.T.
E.T. phone
Oh, no.
home. E.T. got a new car loan.
No, don't take it off, man.
Anarchy. Anarchy. He probably thinks it's still on.
He's probably gonna flip out. See, he's only here for these. That's what he's doing.
Yeah, because you have to pay him in advance.
Yeah.
is what that is.
See, we had a good day. We did.
Phone home.
Yeah, that's where he's at here. And Maury's chill. Maury has been. Tomorrow is the Naked Bible fantasy football draft.
Okay, Mike's audio is still low.
Alright, my audio is still low.
You know what?
Maybe because I ought to talk toward it.
I'm just gonna. I mean, it's already cranked up to max in OBS. I think the problem is just that you don't talk very loud.
Let me take it off.
You gotta be like me.
Okay, look at Norman. He's ready to spring into
Do you
action.
think they're doing anything other than looking at Norman?
He's just ready to wreak havoc. How's that? Is that any better? Like, is it actually better?
Wow.
Is
That
it?
Pug.
Buzz came back when you moved the computer. Did you move your computer? Because my
There.
computer's off. Oh, I just have the iPad.
Okay, now people are just
All
saying
right,
it's
much better. So I'm just gonna hold mine.
There's just a buzz. You know what? In the spirit of things, maybe I'll hold mine as well.
You could.
Yeah, but I gotta reach.
Okay.
Do I feel like reaching? How does my audio sound compared to his? Am I also quiet?
Can you say something? I wish Mom was here. She could get him to scream or something.
I wish Bones was here so she could destroy this house.
Bones is my daughter's white female German Shepherd.
Wow, you gotta bring the fact that she's white into this.
Right.
Let me just turn off Bluetooth.
Yeah.
Bluetooth isn't even enabled to begin with because there's no Bluetooth.
Yeah,
on this
and
thing.
Bones is absolutely
My mic is low.
untamable or trainable.
Oh boy. Oh whoa.
Is Maury breathing? Yes, he is. Yes, he is. I wish he was doing more.
As much as he. I feel like Maury's breathing is kind
See,
of like.
Maury's ears just moved, so he is alive.
Maury doesn't breathe a lot, you know?
He's like an Indian yogi. Like he can regulate his breathing. He only needs like 2 or 3 a minute.
Yeah, he's also at the top of the caste system, just like an Indian yogi.
He's at the top.
He's at the tip of the spire.
Yeah, he's Maury's been he's exhausted because we've been doing a lot of mock drafting in preparation for the draft tomorrow. So, yeah. Maury he's entered an altered state. He heard the word draft and he thinks it's time. So he's already going through all the NFL players. It's okay, Maury.
You know, we've all
It's
been
not time
drafted
yet.
into Maury's, Maury's militia.
He knows as long as he sits there, he's gonna get something. Okay, here's another one. Little tiny piece. There you go.
Yeah, Bones is great. We should have Bones on the
Chaos
podcast.
restrained.
How do you think we'd have to get Bones on the podcast?
We're not ever.
We'd have to do it outside.
Yeah. Well, yeah. She's in her crate for one thing.
Wait, is she out there right now?
No.
Oh.
Thank goodness. I mean, because then that would mean you'd go out and get her. And
We'll have a veterinarian.
Mom would kill you if you ever brought Bones in here.
We'll have a veterinarian, and he'll sedate Bones.
Yeah, somebody just said instead of the caste system, top of the cat system.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Okay.
Jeez.
So what's new, Calvin? You should tell people what's new. Anything new? At
Is there
work?
anything new?
Yeah, you've been working a lot.
Yeah. That was just
Tell
kind of
us-
what I said last time I
know,
was
but
here.
tell us about work.
No.
You had some interesting adventures.
When
you
did
have
I have
a
an-
shoplifter?
Yeah,
Isn't
but
there
it wasn't really much of an incident.
Well, it's somebody shoplifting.
Hey, Dad, how about we start talking about hey, what was the 50-second word you said on the last podcast?
Well, I don't know.
What was going through your mind when you said, "Hey guys," when you introed your podcast? Did you say, "Hey guys"? Is that what you say?
Who knows?
Tell me about your job. Go on. Tell me about your job.
I know you don't want to talk about your job, but you have incidents though that people might find
Yeah.
interesting.
Like this is an incident right here.
Okay, I wonder if Mom's watching.
Dad just drummed the intro of "Take on Me."
I didn't make any special like text to Mom, so she's missing out. This is probably the first episode in the history of the PugCast where Mom isn't watching.
So we can say the word like frick and stuff, can't we?
No.
Isn't that how it works?
No, we can do it on the couch.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, incidents of the silver lining of customer service. But it's like, customer service has been perfectly fine. Everyone in the world has been like, oh, customer service is the worst.
Yeah, but
like, you are an
he
actual
says
snail.
that incidents are the silver lining of customer service jobs.
If you think customer service jobs are bad, you have no personality.
They're the thing that gives you something to talk about, though.
Yeah, but even then, it's kind of boring. It's like, oh, wow, this... I mean, I'm sure I have stories that you'd find interesting, but to me, it's like, oh well.
Well, Norman's learning how to use the iPad here.
Norman's learning how to trample Maury.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Norman, stop.
I'm trying to think other than the
Cease
podcast,
and desist.
or other than the
Norman.
the draft tomorrow. What's new?
I don't know what.
I mean, we haven't done one of these in a while, so.
Is it like a fantasy thing?
Yes, it is. There's a question here. It's been a while since I've watched Have You Moved Yet?
Yes,
No.
we have. We've moved into the other room.
Yeah.
We've finally explored the rest of our house.
We are not in Florida, but we are in a different room. So, yeah. No, we're going to move in January. So, we're doing we're packing a little bit. Things to fix around the house, one of which was in Calvin's room, so that's partially fixed. We got to paint in there. Just stuff like that.
Funny thing, we actually already did plan to paint my room like 10 years ago.
Yeah, I know, but now's the time. Now is the time. They're having a hurricane watch in Florida right now. Did you know that?
No, I didn't, but it doesn't surprise me.
Look at Calvin's startled look.
It's like, oh wow, there's hurricanes in Florida. What else does Florida have?
Well, they don't have
crime.
Earthquakes. I mean, there's
Yeah, but you say that as if we have earthquakes.
But we only had like one.
Yeah, but that wasn't even like that was less of an incident than a shoplifter at the store. Like, you know how small this earthquake was? Mom just thought I fell over upstairs. That was how small it was. She's like, Calvin, are you okay? That's what she said when the earthquake happened. You know why? Because it was such a non-incident. Her only thought was, oh, someone just fell over.
Hey, I don't know what you're digging, but quit digging. You might have to put his collar back on. He's going stir crazy. Where's the collar?
I'm going to put him in my lap. Do you think that's a bad idea?
I don't know.
Let's try it. I'm going to put my mic down.
Yeah, anyway, they're having a hurricane.
Get
watch.
hugged on. Get hugged
So I
on.
talked to the pastor today, and he basically was driving near a Costco, and the Costco was getting mobbed for supplies. So
I cannot wait.
That's what you call it.
I can't wait.
Ahead. So yeah, no, we're not in California. We're in the Northwest, Pacific Northwest.
Thank goodness we're not in California.
All right, Theo asked, you have a class discussing more unseen realm now in pre-pub in Logos. Oh, I wonder what that is. Seriously, I'm not trying to be funny. I never actually filmed a class on Unseen Realm for Logos. We filmed like short summaries of things in the book. That's the best way to describe that. So, and then we, they're clustered, so they're topics that relate to each other, but there is no like class in Unseen Realm. So I'm glad you brought that up, because the thing I am doing in Florida is I'm taking 30 weeks to teach through the book. We're starting a school down there, a school of ministry. It's going to be a 2-year program. We're not pursuing accreditation, although we already have a couple leads about places that are accredited that will give credit for, what we do down there. But we're not part of the process. We're not pursuing that intentionally. So it's a 2-year program, and the first year is devoted to the content of Unseen Realm. Second year is going to be, the best way to put it is anything I care about. So there's going to be some apologetic stuff. There's going to be some drill down topics that get started in Unseen Realm. But basically the first year is 30 weeks of Unseen Realm stuff. That is actually a class. Again, I don't really know what exactly what Mobile Ed is doing, but because we actually did 2 or 3 of those, and I think 1 or 2 of them have already shipped, but I could be wrong there. I'm not sure. I was kind of out of the loop of of shipping and all that stuff. Oh, let's see here. I have not heard of Matthew Sleeth. Yep, seeing that correctly.
Matthew Sleeth. Can I look him up? Is he going to be the next person I always bring up?
Involves there. What was that, Calvin?
Is Matthew Sleeve, whatever his name is? Sleeth. Is he going to be the next person I bring up every podcast? We're never going to look him up. No. I'm going to bring him up. I'm going to start beef with him.
The Demons book is out in March. It's on Amazon right now for pre-purchasing. So that's what's going on with that. The Stranger Things book got moved in ahead of that, and that is out in mid-October. And that's the same date that the paperback version of Unseen Realm will also ship on Amazon too. So
how long does it take to write a book?
It depends.
A fiction book, like The Facade.
A fiction book?
Yeah.
Well, depends what's in the way. I would say the last one took about 10 months, a little less than a year, but that's because I had 2 or 3 hours every day to do something on it.
I feel like I want to write a book, but at the same time, I don't read books, so I don't know what's good and what isn't.
You used to read lots of books.
Yeah, I used to read lots of books. That's fair. But the thing is, like I think some of the stuff I read back then was good, but if I read it now, I'd be like, oh, this is stuff for kids, and I feel like that's kind of like warped how I'd view books.
Well, that would make sense because when years ago you were a kid, so.
Yeah. My mom was so upset because we bought like a 1,000-page book for probably like $40, and I finished it in the car ride home. She's like, great, what is this for now? Because here's the thing, I read the first quarter of.
Which one was that?
It was a Maximum Ride book.
Yeah, it was the James Patterson one.
But the thing about it, right, was that I read 3/4 of it in Barnes & Noble, because when you travel with mom, you need something to kill time. Right. It's like, oh, well, I'm already here, and I'm only going to wait 3 hours just for her to get out. Might as well read. So I read the book, and I finished it.
There's a question about Walton's book. No, because this is an interesting question, actually, because I wrote mine before his, but it's taken so long for mine to get out that I have to go through it in the next couple of weeks, go through the edits. And I will probably, it depends if I can get his
Norman.
on time. Do I care to do that? If I can remember to do that, if I'm motivated, then it may have some points of interaction. I just don't know. I don't know how that's going to work out, but in theory, it's possible. Oh, let's see here. Yeah, I know. I'm with you about the how long it's taken to get that out. How about audio books? Ben Heiser. I don't even know what that means.
Hey, Dad.
Yeah.
Want to hear something great?
Go ahead. Norman's contribution. His little grunts. Yeah.
Norman, what do you think of the books? That's really vulgar. You should be ashamed.
I don't know about the Reverse Herman audiobook because that's not a Lexham project. That's something different. I mean, I had somebody ask me to do that, and we had to get permission from Defender to do that. So, as far as I know, it's in process. I mean, I've spent some time with the guy reading it to go over like some of the weird names, and just odd nomenclature. So I know he's into it. Let's see here.
There's something about Stephen King in the chat. Have you ever read a Stephen King book?
I have not.
I've heard great things about his book, but there's like so many he has. But I know a lot of trivia about his books.
Yeah.
Like one thing I've actually, no joke, I was gonna tell you about this. I was gonna ask you the same question I just remembered right now. You know, like the Stephen King story Carrie.
Yeah.
You know how that came about?
I have no idea.
And this could all be BS. I just heard it in like a podcast somewhere. So don't.
Hmm.
You know, like if you fact check this and I'm wrong, you shouldn't be surprised. In fact, I think less of you if you are. But basically, he wrote like the first half of Carrie, right?
Yeah.
And he didn't like it, so he just like threw it in the garbage. And then his wife found it, and then she read it, and she like forced him to finish it. It's pretty funny. Carrie's about the. Do you know what Carrie's about?
All I know is it's like some girl that got made fun of, and she has like psychic powers or something.
Yeah, basically it.
Yeah. So.
I like.
Norman's got his baby.
I like the movie of It. At least the first half that we've gotten. Because people are like, oh, the original's scary. And it's like, the original looks like an after-school special. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I would never watch that.
The original looks like...
the giant spider. Boy, did I spoil anything?
Okay, we've had this debate before.
I know.
The giant spider is not a dumb twist.
It's a dumb ending.
Okay, why is it a dumb ending? Explain it.
It's just so cheesy.
Okay, why is it cheesy?
It's like a B-50s movie. Why not Attack of the Gila Monster? You know.
Why not Attack of the Gila Monster?
Yeah, I mean that giant spider.
Well, that's because Pennywise, right? Is this
grew up in the 50s?
No, Pennywise didn't grow up in the 50s.
Well,
okay,
the ending he did.
Okay, the movie It, right? Pennywise and the monster are like, they're connected, right? But they're not necessarily the same thing, right? But the whole issue is that Pennywise is a facade that this weird, like, you know.
Please don't say it's an alien.
It's not an alien, but okay. But Pennywise is a facade that this creature puts out, right? You know, that's just how it is.
You're not making it any better.
Oh, Mom's watching.
She is?
We should
Gosh, we couldn't get through an episode without Mom watching.
Did you send her the text of the skateboard that I bought Simi? Let me just show it on the stream.
No, you took the picture. Did you send it?
Oh no, I did not send it because I'm not going to go through your
Yeah, we have
messages.
something for Mom to see and Simi to see if she's watching. Okay.
One second, I got alt tab so I can see the
This
view
is like
frame.
an unveiling video now, or an unpacking video. Norman, come on. Crazy one. I'm sure Mom wants to see you.
Yeah. So this is the deck. Norman's gonna see it. Norman, look, it's Robin. Do you like Robin? Do you like Robin, Norman? Do you like Robin? He doesn't like Robin. Just hold it. Hold it in front of you.
This is better than the collar.
Hold it in front of you. Is it upside down? Can't tell.
No, it's better than the collar.
But you can vaguely see that it's like...
Oh, there he goes.
You can see Steve's on it, and then it's Robin, and they're at the Chips Ahoy place, and it's a skateboard.
Normie, do you like this? Do you like the picture?
One sec.
Yeah.
Norman, do you like Robin?
See, if Mom was here, she'd have him screaming. Look, he's running away from it.
What's wrong with Robin, Norman?
Come on. Oh, he's got no idea. Well, let's see here. Yeah, it's pretty good looking. Calvin said they have a bunch
at the
place.
They're not ordering anymore. They're very limited.
Well, they're probably gone now.
Yeah.
Let's see.
$55.
Dustin says, not Dustin from the show, but okay. I found the video series on the Stranger Things content on Faith Life TV. I've only watched the first season. Do you think I need to catch up before what? Yes. Yeah. If you get the book, see the videos introduce each chapter of the book, and I hope they put a disclaimer in the book because it's going to be spoilers everywhere. So yeah, you don't want to do that. Let's see here.
You must take my place, Norman. Take my place in the cosmos.
This me kamoka thing about the Arabic word, I can't tell from that transliteration, and I would doubt it. I don't know what the 3 is in the transliteration. What that's supposed to stand for. Any updates on new releases from Naked Bible Press? No, it's just the one kids book, although we have a second submission. We also have a smaller submission that we may marry to something else. We're not sure yet, but I'm hoping some people in the past, people have been working on youth group stuff. I'm hoping that they'll submit things that we can put out. But it started, so it'll be slow, but we'll get things. Let's see here. Okay, I'm sure you can see Norman now.
Norman's just outside of frame.
Lucas asks, are we going to see more live streams? This is the only live stream we do. Although we've done a few in the past. Look, Maury moved. Did everybody see that? It's proof that he's alive.
If Maury moves in the living room and no one's there to see it, does he actually move?
He actually move?
Yeah. Norman, stop pushing the laptop. You're jeopardizing
Maury
our stream.
thinks it's the second round of the draft now. He's moving around.
Maury actually ghost wrote Carrie.
Look at Maury. Look at that face.
Remember that time Stephen King got in a car crash and he got really messed up and then he wrote a bunch of books? Yeah, he wrote a bunch of books while recovering and those were like some of his better books or something.
I don't follow him, so.
Is it bad that I thought Stephen King would have... have you ever seen a picture of Stephen King?
Yeah.
He looks nothing like how I had imagined him to look. I thought he would look like Jack Black or something.
Collar.
Not gonna lie, I was kind of disappointed.
Collar. Norman has only had the collar on for about 10 minutes today. That's news for Mom. Truth Inside, I have no idea because I'm not looking at the text and I don't know the context. So let's see here. We'd have to actually look at it in the Greek text or the Ethiopic and all that sort of thing.
Are we letting Maury pick the draft this year?
Maury always picks the draft.
Not just our draft, every draft.
Collar. Get the collar. He's having a meltdown.
One sec.
Seriously. I don't want Maury to have to just sit here and get bitten up.
Okay, Norman, you're playing by our rules
Ben-Hur asked about Revelation 12. No, I don't think Revelation 12 and the third of the angels has anything to do with Genesis or a primeval event. I think the text is pretty clear. It's in relationship to the birth of the Messiah. Yep, we did not move yet. Scientific immortality is possible. No. If you
actually, no, it is.
If you eliminate disease, you can still get hit by a truck.
Yeah. But here's the thing, right? With some beings, it could be how
the ones that avoid the truck.
Yeah, the ones that avoid the truck, the ones that grow forever, Maury, etc. Look at Norman right now.
No, it's a pipe dream.
Norman, you hear that? They're calling you a pipe dream. Don't look at me that way. Please stop.
Yeah, we're gonna move in January. We're getting some other move questions here. Moving books is the worst. Yeah, a lot of I used to get people at Faith Life make fun of me because everything's digital there, and I have like 82 boxes of books, and I can say this with confidence because I've actually looked. 90% or better of my books do not exist in Logos' platform, and that's because we either don't have licenses or they're out of print or whatever, something like that. So I have as much as I can in digital, but digital just doesn't cut it. There's just too much good stuff that we can't get licenses to. That's a publisher decision. We don't have any. Logos doesn't have any control over that. Let's see here. Thoughts on Pentecostal theology? Well, I'm not a Pentecostal, so that might tell you something.
What are your thoughts on Mormonism?
I'm not a Mormon because I think Mormonism has a deeply flawed view of God,
Dad,
among other things. But
have you heard about that YouTuber Jesus H. Christ? Have you heard about his story?
No.
Oh, it's nuts. It's insane. So he's part of like this super strict and super like fringe, or he used to be part of the super strict, super fringe Mormon church, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
like,
he left.
Like polygamous Mormons, like
No,
really,
like
really fringe.
they sounded super fringe from his videos, but he's currently in a lawsuit with them because they're trying to strip custody from him of his children.
Yeah.
And basically, you know what the website Fiverr is?
Fiverr.
Yeah.
That's freelancing.
Yeah, freelancing.
Yeah, I actually used that.
Yeah, he did some stuff on Fiverr where he would just be like, "Oh, you can do a video message, and I'm just dressed up as Jesus. This is funny, right?" But his legal name is actually Jesus H. Christ because he changed it to that as protest of his old church, and he posted some because he was very quiet about the lawsuit up until recently, but he posted a really, really interesting video of his reasons for leaving the Mormon church and like the dirty secrets they had and stuff that's brought up in the lawsuit. I was just wondering if you'd heard anything about that.
I'm surprised you can do that if it's in a lawsuit. But maybe it's just public knowledge.
No, I mean like just the reasons for him initially leaving the church, not the stuff that's going on in the lawsuit itself.
Norman stepped on the iPad, and now I don't have the same screen, so I don't know. I can't really see.
Can I look at it?
Yeah, I can't really
pass
see
that over.
That
Chat, have you heard about the Jesus H. Christ thing?
It's probably like some fundamentalist Mormon sect or something.
He named the actual church, but I don't remember which one it was.
All right, thank you.
But basically, one of the reasons he left the church was that his father, who was a high-ranking guy in the church, right? I'm not sure if this is part of the law, because the lawsuit that they're in right now is strictly about the custody. It's not about like the stuff that went on in the church. That stuff's incidental, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he explains that the reason he left the Mormon church was that right before he went on like a really long missions trip, he was on his father's computer and found like really bad stuff, and the Mormon church helped cover it up, and they like blacklisted him.
Oh wow!
And now they're trying to take his kids away. But it's a pretty interesting story.
Yeah.
I'll show you the channel later. Do you think the way religions are currently ran appear more like cults than religions?
Where is this now?
It's second from the bottom. Although you might have to scroll down a little bit.
Oh, yeah, no, I see it. You know, I think that's an overstatement. Cults have pretty distinct markings. Usually a single leader. You know, usually they're telling people that they can't get information from anywhere else.
Like Shoko Asahara.
Or whoever that is.
Shoko Asahara was the Japanese cultist guy.
Oh, okay.
You ever heard of him?
No.
Oh, he's been dead for like 15 years or something. But even after he's dead, he still has followers who do weird stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They're like terrorists. But he invented his own religion, so it was kind of weird. He's legally blind, and he had a ton of followers in the government and in the police force and in the military. Mm-hmm. And it's like something out of a sci-fi movie. It's insane. But the Shoko Asahara story is crazy.
All right, Anna has a question. I want to attend your school at Celebration, but I'm concerned I don't have enough education to attend. Website says you should have some college as prerequisite.
Oh, wait, never mind. Shoko Asahara was just executed last year. But how long has he been in jail?
I don't know.
How long has Shoko Asahara been in jail? Or am I thinking of like how long the Jonestown guy has been dead? Because the Jonestown guy has been dead for a long time, I think.
Yeah, a long time. Anna, you don't have to have gone to college. Really, what that's supposed to mean is that they want people to be 18, but the reality is that if we had somebody under 18 apply, we would evaluate them on a case-by-case basis. But you don't have to have had any college. I suppose it's a good idea, but we're not chalking the thing full of assignments and stuff like that. There will be short quizzes, a few short writing assignments. I mean really short, like a question of the week. 500 words or less. Answer this question. So it's either going to be that or a short quiz or something like that. It's nothing, taxing. It's very low pressure. So I would say that's not necessary. Let's see. Have you read William Lane Craig's book Time and Eternity? I did a long time ago, like probably 10, 15 years ago. What language was Enoch originally written in? Most likely Aramaic, because that's the oldest manuscript material we have. So there's really no reason to guess something else other than that. Yeah, these questions I'm getting on Enoch about Greek words, the words don't mean anything, by themselves. You have to have the context, and I'm not going to pull away and read 1 Enoch 89 for this. So that's beyond the
Norman,
the
why would you
podcast.
do that? Why would you willingly choose to behave in this way? You're a psychopath.
Do you
Stop
consider
it.
Deuterocanonical books canon? Why or why not? I would say I'm content with the Protestant canon because, this is actually a question I actually don't care about, because I think we should read all the stuff, because it's very evident that the New Testament authors read very widely, so I think we should too. There's no reason to assign sacred status
Norman,
to
that's my
something. Just
Sprite.
read it.
You can't have it.
But anyway, I think the test, especially for Old Testament stuff, is not just Protestant. It's actually rises from the Jewish community, and it makes sense. And that is this: they didn't consider anything canonical that was not extant in Hebrew, which makes a whole lot of sense in the Israelite/Jewish community. So if a book was not originally composed in Hebrew, they rejected it as being canonical Old Testament material. So a lot of these deuterocanonical books that you get in what Protestants call the Apocrypha, or that were lumped in with the Septuagint in Greek, that's why they're there. It was Greek. They don't have any Hebrew extant material.
Norman, what are you
doing?
doing?
I don't know how that you would link non-Hebrew material to the Old Testament period. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So I think that's a good criterion, and again, I'm content with that, but I still recommend reading the stuff.
How come Norman looks and sounds like he's looking for the last ring?
I told you he might need the collar. Now he's biting Maury's tail. Okay,
Hey, Norman.
get the collar. Okay,
It's
where'd
like-
you put it?
Oh, it's like right here. You can have it.
Yeah, I gotta ambush him.
Are you gonna ambush?
That wasn't much of an ambush.
So I saw the tech guys at the church or whatever. That's the same place as where you're teaching, right? The Florida church.
Yeah.
They had pizza in there, low key.
Did you see like the tech?
Yeah,
stuff? Yeah, that's pretty nice.
like pretty neat.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I'll ever take classes there. Probably not.
Hey, buddy.
Even if I get them for free, it's like, well, I've got real school. What are your opinions on?
It's just for people who want, theological content when they're to do ministry in church.
What do you think of Scientology?
Not a whole lot. I think it's very manipulative. It manipulates people. I think what they teach is flaky. Do I necessarily trust the Septuagint reading over the MT? No. Every textual variant needs to be judged on its own merits or demerits. There is no one sacrosanct text. Let's see here.
What are your opinions on?
I hear jiggling behind me. What is
It's
he
Norman doing
I know,
something.
But is he in the process of knocking something over?
Oh yeah, he found his bone. There we
He
go.
got his. All right, that's his antler. Yeah.
Norman won't stop until every building is leveled. You ever think about that?
Until everything is leveled.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes.
Here's the thing. I think if Bones was calm, she could be a very good PugCast guest.
Bones is never going to be calm.
We need. Here's
you
the
have
thing.
to inject her like with a sedative or something.
You
That would
need
take
to-
down an elephant. Then
Yeah.
you might get there, but
You need to trank her, but she'll be good on the podcast.
you might need to drink her.
It's time for the all-female PugCast reboot. because that went
gosh.
great for Ghostbusters.
Yeah. Yeah, that really went great. Oh, yeah. For those who are interested, if you want to sign up for more information or the school, it's just go to School of Theology or theschooloftheology.com, and you'll find the website. Let's see here. Tree Theology. You know, I mean, Rusty Wallace's book, you know, we had Rusty speak at the first Naked Bible Conference. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff in that, but he's using a number of older studies that honestly aren't available anymore, but you might yeah, but you might be able to find them used, but they'd be expensive. There's one by Widengren, Widengren, that's really good. Yeah.
You should probably repeat the last 2 sentences you said, because I laughed during part of it.
Oh.
So I just read it really funny. Just restate what you just did.
Well, I mean, somebody asked about tree theology. I think Rusty Wallace's book is pretty good. It goes through a lot of information. Come on, more. Go ahead, jump.
Oh my gosh, he landed on Maury's face and he didn't flinch. Someone said in the chat,
Maury's like immune to pain.
Maury's blood type is tranquilizer.
Pretty much.
That's funny.
Does Heiser think AI will gain consciousness?
Yes. People are like, oh, okay, here's what I don't understand, right?
I could see AI getting Maury level of consciousness right there.
Okay, you see that DVR that's turned off? Yeah. They made it. People are like, oh, when AI becomes self-aware, that just spells the end of the species. And it's always been like, but why? And like, no one I've ever asked has come up to an answer. It's just like, oh, AI will end the human race. Why? And then that's just when the conversation ends, because they're like, I don't know.
The thinking is because it will consider itself superior in humanity as a virus.
Why would it consider itself superior? It needs double A's just to function.
Well, I know.
Oh, wow. What a superior life form. You can rust in 2 years.
Set off a little EMP in the room and it's done.
Your life expectancy is lower than your life expectancy is third world if you're an AI.
Let's see.
Being afraid of AI because of Skynet is kind of like being afraid of religion because of like Indiana Jones 2. You know, it's just kind of a dumb argument. At least in my opinion.
I gotta go back here. No, the school is not accredited. We're not pursuing accreditation. I think chances are very good down the road that students will get credit for it from schools that are accredited, and that process or that discussion's already begun. But we're not going to pursue it. Let's see. I'm setting up a Bible library in my living room shelf. Which order would be better? Which order would be better understanding for the Old Testament, LX6 or K? I don't really understand the question. Which order? What should you order? I mean, these things are really unrelated. Old Testament, Septuagint, and the King James. Can you take that apart a little bit? Because I'm not really following the point of the question. Yeah, Cliff says Skynet. Let's see. I sent you some stuff
Someone's in the chat. Some believe AI is demonic.
Somebody sent me something? Theo Asia?
He did.
Wow.
You ever hear of that little conspiracy group? It's like, I think it's primarily a religious one, and it's basically people who have never been on planes who think that planes, not like pilots, but just planes are demons. Have I ever shown you that? Oh, it's the funniest thing in the world. Have you not seen it?
Like metal objects?
Yeah. They're like sky demons.
Somebody's are they a primitive tribe or something?
I mean, it depends what state. You know,
we don't have primitive tribes in the United States.
We have Florida, and we've got like Cali.
Florida doesn't have primitive indigenous tribes anymore. Let's see here.
So it's called Delta. All right. It's fair. Oh, I hate flying. There's nothing I hate more than flying.
Let's see here.
Dad, okay, on like my third day, I never told anyone this, but on my third day of Safeway,
Yeah.
there's a kid in a cart, and I smiled at the kid, and the kid started bawling, and I couldn't stop laughing. Because from an outside perspective, that looks bad, because it's just me like laughing at a crying kid,
Yeah.
but just like I'm looking at him like,
Well, see, there you go.
and then starts crying.
There's a work anecdote that's worth remembering.
Oh my gosh.
The real question now is Norman gonna fall off the couch going after his antler here? Let's see here.
What do you think of? I'm gonna try to find a question from the chat.
The Spirit Airlines. Cliff said it's called Delta.
Yeah.
That's pretty good, Cliff. Yeah.
What's a good Christian movie other than Ben-Hur and The Passion of the Christ? And
Signs. Signs is the best theological movie I've ever seen.
is it really a theological movie?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's great. If I was doing it just like a regular theology class, when we got to material on providence, I would just have people watch Signs.
Signs is pretty good. I like Signs. But how come like there's so many? Someone said God's Not Dead. Not sure if I agree.
I've not seen that, so.
I've seen a lot of it. I've never seen the full thing, so obviously I'm a little biased. But I will say that it's a bit laughably extreme.
Name of Mike's school in Florida is called Awakening School of Theology. Case that is correct. Vondell wants to know pre-trib or post-trib which is the sensible school of thought. I don't know that I'd call either of them sensible. I don't care about eschatology because every system cheats.
What's eschatology?
Study of end times.
That sounds pointless.
Well,
not pointless, but like...
Yeah, that wouldn't be the right word for it. I mean, it's futile.
Yeah, there we go.
Futile's a better word for that. I did a series, if you want to know why I don't care about it. I did a blog series years ago called Why an Obsession with Eschatology is a Waste of Time, and it's got like 15 parts in it. But it goes through the assumptions that every view has to make about certain questions. And the pre and post trib thing has to first of all assume that there's a rapture. And the only way you get a rapture is if you decide to take, if you put all the passages about the return of Jesus into a pile, you have to decide whether there's one pile or two. And since they all don't describe the event the same way, there are those who say, these are two separate things because there's some differences in the way it's described. So we split them into two piles, and the other side says, no, we need to harmonize those things like we do for the synoptic gospels. And so we have one pile. So I have a one of those posts in that eschatology series is called, are you a splitter or a joiner? If you're a splitter, you get two events, rapture and second coming. If you're a joiner, you get one event. There is no rapture. So, you say, well, which one is correct? Okay, you have to again, this is a hermeneutical decision. And it's not self-evident. That's the whole point of the series, that all of these end times positions that people take, none of them are self-evident from the text. They are all presupposition driven, which is why I say that spending a whole lot of time studying this stuff is a waste of time, because none of it's self-evident from the text. Let's see here. Yes, Chas Burdick. Yeah, that movie. The Signs movie is great. Let's see here. Yeah, Theology. If we're talking about the books in their canon and even the order of books, you could also throw in the orthodoxy in that. They're going to be different too. Again, it just depends on what your criteria are. Let's see here. Random Taffer, it would mean that they didn't want to see, quote unquote, the nakedness of their father, which would be their mother, in that state. So it's both a sign of respect and also a symbolic act, that let everybody know that they were not approving of what Ham had done. Let's see. Your eschatology video destroyed my world. Well, I guess that's a good thing. Are you still coming to Tacoma in September? Yes, September 22nd. Do you know what topics you'll be speaking on? I haven't written down somewhere, but off the top of my head, I don't know. Depends. I mean, Brent asked me. Let me see if I can actually get that up here. See if I know how to do this correctly here. I can tell you in a second. Where did that? There it is.
Have you ever written anything on today's pastor acting as a CEO? That's something.
Have I ever written anything?
Yeah, I assume they're referring to like mega church pastors who are like the worst.
Well, mega church pastors have a deservedly poor reputation.
Oh, and I'm not referring to like big churches. I'm referring to like
right. You're probably
what's
thinking
his name?
Prosperity Gospel or something like that.
Televangelists.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
I hate televangelists, and I know hate's a strong word, but watch out, Peter Popov. Put me in a room next to Peter Popov. I'm gonna pop his jaw.
I'm not even sure I know who that is because I'm so divorced.
Peter Popov's the guy who would like sell holy water over in the mail, and then he'd do the infomercials where like, yeah, these people got the holy water, and then they save $1,000.
Deserve condemnation. The Tacoma thing, Brent asked me to speak on God as man in the Old Testament, the two powers thing, and then the second one is why we need to dispense with the X-Files view of inspiration. So that's essentially why we need a better view of inspiration.
X-Files is good though.
Let's see here. Okay, now I gotta find. Oh, there's YouTube. There we go. Hey, I actually did that.
Bruh, the real Ben Hur's talking to us. I think he must be connecting through Maury.
Yeah, Norman's digging for something. I'm not sure.
Wait, is Maury underneath Norman?
No.
Oh.
There you go. Here. There's what you're looking for. Let's see here. Fisher King. That looks like the answer to something here. Is your book coming out in October? How is this a good book to share with someone who's not a believer? I think it's really good if they like the show. If they're fans of the show, it'll be really good for that. Let's see here. Yeah, I don't really care about the authorship of Daniel. I suspect that it's early, not late, but I don't know. And again, I don't really care that a whole lot. But my suspicion would be that it's a lot earlier than the date is kind of a stalemate. Basically, all the arguments for either side of this have good rebuttals. So that's why it's still a debate. Yeah, Robert Tilton, prosperity preacher.
I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah,
no, Peter Popov's the main one that's on my radar.
I don't recommend that you watch any Robert.
Oh,
Tilton
actually,
videos.
who's that new guy who was recently ambush interviewed and he said some really like scary stuff? Who's that guy? He wears like Gucci.
Oh, that's Kenneth Copeland.
Yeah, Kenneth Copeland.
Yeah,
he's something.
Yeah. That's being kind.
Kenneth Copeland is like one of the mind flayed in season 3 Stranger Things. That's what that's what that dude is. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Chas Burdick. Yeah, Summer's book is really good. It's very useful. My view of eschatology, coffee to clutch, is that it's intentionally cryptic. That's the way it worked the first time around. That's the way it's going to work the second time around. So it's another reason why we shouldn't be wasting so much time trying to figure it out. It's intentionally cryptic. Let's see
here. It's not my fault. His name was Kenneth. If you name your kid Kenneth, like, don't. You ever met someone named Dennis with one N, but still pronounced Dennis?
No.
It like
Oh, look at him.
it's like when you take a regular name and just make it bad.
Is that like Steve with 2 E's in the middle?
That would be like you know, because here's the thing. Sometimes alternate spells you find like J Jeffs versus G Jeffs. Both of those are valid, but Dennis with one N is like really bad.
Yeah, I don't. I think that's fairly common though, isn't it?
Dennis with one
Isn't
N.
it like Dennis the Menace, one N? Like go look that up.
No. I think that's 2 N's or it's DNACE to be like a pun.
No, I don't know. Look that up. Now I'm
There was a
curious.
weird Dennis the Menace reboot movie that went nowhere. It came out and people hated it. Did you remember that?
That was like Ricky Schroeder or something,
That
right?
was a while back.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Yeah, Dennis the Menace is 2 N's.
So, Random Tapper says, I didn't believe in reptilian shapeshifters until I saw the Copeland video.
No, like, have you seen that video?
I've seen it. He's just creepy.
Yeah, he
Look,
really
he's
is.
just creepy.
Like, he's a
You know.
terrifying guy.
So,
And don't you ever say that I did.
all right. Did you find is Dennis the Menace 1 or 2?
Yeah, Dennis
N's?
the Menace is 2 N's.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Is that like is this like a Mandela effect thing?
No, it's not a Mandela effect. It's a grammatical thing.
Oh, Voltron Defender mentions the subject of the farting video for Robert Tilton. I did see that when that came out, like
What are you
in,
talking
in
about?
the 90s. Look, if you just put Robert Tilton and farting in
Tilton.
YouTube,
Tilton.
yes, it's the only Robert Tilton video I think I'd recommend.
What's so funny about it? Or is it like I have to see it?
Well, you don't have to see anything with Tilton.
But I should watch it. Because just how much of a spectacle it is.
It's a parody. Okay, so you'd probably like it.
Okay.
I think it was funny.
Well, I mean, we're closing in on an hour, so
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
maybe
so
I
we
should go watch that.
Yeah, we walked right into that one. All right. Yeah, let's wrap up here. Thanks everybody for watching.
Hey, guy.
So even though we started a little bit early, we'll end it a little bit early for the hour. But Maury, thanks Maury. Maury's on the astral plane here. Getting ready for the draft tomorrow.
Rubbing Maury's head has a similar effect to rubbing a crystal ball.
Right, he has to reserve his energy. Maury spends a lot of time reserving energy.
Maury's the ultimate starter Pokemon, but you're not allowed to pick him because it's too powerful.
Okay.
Have you seen Detective Pikachu? Was pretty fun. That's just what I wanted to say real
All
quick.
right.
It's a decent movie.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone. And remember, there's nothing you can do to escape Maury. Don't try it.